Good morning, everyone. Today, I, Adrian P. Baltazar, together with Altea Real Crizaldo, will discuss our thesis titled Lived Experiences of Senior High School Learners in the Teaching Style of Teachers of STEM Specialized Subject in the New Normal. In this day and age, studying in the new normal can be quite a challenge. As a student, we personally experience this dilemma on our academic lives. Students are believed to have a hard time adjusting to these changes in the academic system. With sufficient supporting studies, it is believed that teachers play a huge role in the learning of students. Thus, having the right teaching style is important. The way the teacher delivers a lesson has an impact on online class students' learning, just as it does on traditional classroom. Furthermore, the correct teaching style may aid students in better understanding the subject. Using the correct teaching style is important in students' learning. And given the new modality of learning delivery, this study will be a great help to improve the delivery of instruction to STEM students. Furthermore, this study is an attempt to help teachers to improve their teaching style in terms of teaching STEM specialized subjects in the new normal. With all of that said, let us now proceed to the statement of the problem. Generally, this study aims to determine the lived experiences of senior high school learners with the teaching styles of teachers on STEM specialized subjects in the new normal. Specifically, this study seeks to answer the following. Number 1. What are the experiences of the participants in the teaching styles used by their teachers in specialized subjects in the new normal? Number 2. What are the challenges encountered by the participants in the teaching styles used by their teachers in specialized subjects in the new normal? And number 3, what are the priority areas that teachers should consider in teaching specialized subjects in the new normal? Now, let us proceed to the conceptual frameworks of the study. The figure that is being presented in the screen depicts the relationship between the variables of the study. There are 3 major variables involved in this study. Number 1, the lived experiences of senior high school learners in the teaching styles of teachers on STEM specialized subjects. Number 2, challenges of senior high school learners in the teaching styles of teachers on STEM specialized subjects. And number 3, priority areas that teachers should consider in teaching STEM specialized subjects, all in the new normal. These are going to be the basis in making an action plan that contains the suggestions for teachers that could contribute on improving the teaching styles of teachers on STEM specialized subjects in the new normal. Moving forward, this study is primarily anchored on the following theories focused on the pedagogical aspects of online education, compiled by Antonio Picchiano on 2017 and composed by the Western Governors University on 2021. The first theory is behaviorism. This theory focuses on how people behave. To be more specific, this theory focuses on observing how learners respond to certain stimuli that, when repeated, can be evaluated, quantified, and eventually controlled for each individual. Next is cognitivism. In this theory, the concept that the mind has an important role in learning is promoted. Next is social constructivism. This theory was used to describe and expound teaching and learning as complex interactive phenomena between teachers and students. Next is humanism. This theory is in close relation with constructivism, but focuses on the autonomy and freedom of learners. This theory states that learning is a natural desire with the ultimate goal of accomplishing self-actualization. And lastly, connectivism. In this theory, learning, which was defined as actionable knowledge, is focused on connecting specialized information sets, and the connections that allow us to learn more and are more crucial than our current state of knowing. With that sums up the theoretical framework. Let us now proceed to the significance of the study. Our study is going to be beneficial for 4 sections: STEM students, teachers, researchers themselves, and future researchers. For STEM students, our study will be great contribution in the effectiveness of learning of the students, considering that the teaching style an instructor employ plays an important role in a student's learning. For teachers, given the best teaching approach, instructors would know how to adjust and modify their teaching style in a way where it will be easier for the students to understand the subject. For researchers themselves, us being students show how this study is beneficial for us. This is because we experience firsthand being under the flexible learning system with assigned STEM specialized subjects. And finally, for future researchers, this study could contribute to the formation of new strategies to adjust the flexible learning system. Additionally, more studies can be derived from the experiment by adjusting certain variables used in the study. For our scope and limitations, this study will focus on the experiences and challenges of senior high school learners under the teaching styles of their instructors of STEM specialized subjects in the new normal. This study will not include other teaching styles such as teaching styles used in a physical classroom, and the respondents to be interviewed will be STEM students from Cavite State University Laboratory Science High School main campus. And that sums up the chapter 1 of our study. Now let us proceed to our methodology to be discussed by Althea Riel Crizaldo.
And moving on to our methodology, first we have the research design. Our study will use a qualitative analysis approach. The qualitative analysis approach is a methodical inquiry into social phenomena in natural context. Particularly, phenomenology will be used as the analysis technique of this research. A phenomenological approach is particularly appropriate for the purposes of this study, where structures of conscious experiences as experienced from the first-person point of view, along with the related conditions of experience, will be studied. In the context of this study, phenomenology will be used to determine the lived experiences and challenges of senior high school learners and the teaching styles of teachers of STEM specialized subjects in the new normal. Along with it, it will also be used to determine the priority areas that must be considered and added to the action plan that will be suggested to the teachers. For the locale of the study, this study will be conducted in Indang, Cavite, where the main campus of Cavite State University is located. Now, the intended participants for the interview will be a maximum of 6 senior high school learners from Cavite State University Laboratory Science High School. Specifically, 3 male and 3 female learners will be interviewed. Moving on, in this study, the sampling technique that will be used is purposive sampling, wherein the participants will be purposely selected by the researchers. The participants must be selected through a specific criterion. They are required to be STEM students from CVSU LSHS from school year 2021 to 2022. Now, for our research instrument, this study will use interview guide questions to elicit data regarding the participants' experiences and teaching styles of teachers on STEM specialized subjects in the new normal. This instrument will be built through comprehensive reading and analysis of related literature. Since it is our goal to gather data with clear and concise procedures, the validation of instruments takes a significant role in this study. The interview guide question will be a researcher-made that is to be validated by 3 experts in the fields: language, education management, and psychosocial. Their feedback will be addressed properly in making adjustments and revisions. Once edited, the research instrument will be returned to the validators for their approval. Now, for the data gathering, this will proceed after the approval of this proposal. After the validation of research instrument, the researchers will start coordinating with their selected participants. Then, on the participants' most convenient time, the interview will be done through online video conferencing as part of safety precautions. Specifically, it will be done using Google Meet as the platform. The researchers will formulate conclusions and suggestions after the data analysis. And finally, an action plan will be developed based on the results of the study. For the data analysis, the responses of the participants will be analyzed using thematic analysis, wherein the researchers will closely examine the data to identify common themes that come up repeatedly. Mainly, the thematic analysis will be used to identify the priority areas that must be considered to tackle the challenges that senior high school learners have experienced under the teaching styles of teachers for STEM specialized subjects in the new normal. Finally, For the last section of our methodology, significant ethical considerations will be heeded in the study. To be particular, this study will prioritize anonymity and confidentiality. The participants' full consent will be obtained prior to the data collection. The gathered data will not be used for any reason other than achieving the objectives of the study. And lastly, the chosen participants will have the choice to cease participating in the study at any moment. These are the references that we used for our introduction and methodology. And here is where we wrap up our presentation. Thank you so much for listening.